Hey guys, it's Justin. Hope you guys have all had a good week. I have been meaning to record a few more videos, but I just haven't had the chance lately. I kind of hit them pretty hard when I started out on this channel, but I found that it's a little more difficult to do it regularly, like every day. So anyway, I've just kind of been doing them as I have been motivated to, or have purchased new knives. Just any of those things. So I don't want to make stuff that I'm not engaged in, or at a time that I'm super busy, and it just seems like an obligation. I want to give you guys the best content. So anyway, this is my next video. I'm excited to do this one. This knife just came in today from, I think it was Knife Joy that I ordered this from. But anyway, yeah, this is the Doug Ritter Hogue RSK something or other. I'm not sure what the name is. But anyway, if you search Doug Ritter Hogue, you'll find this knife. This is actually a sprint run that's specifically for Halloween. You can see here it has the orange G10 as opposed to the black G10, and then it has the black coated blade. So kind of a special edition. I think this run is limited to 100 pieces. So if you guys like this knife, definitely check it out, because I'm sure they'll sell out fast. I know this is a popular knife. So, make sure to get yours before they're gone. Let's go ahead and get into the scores. So looking at blade steel, you can see here this is 20 CV, which is, one of the best steels you can get, on any knife today. Equivalent to 204P, M390. Those three are kind of the holy trinity of knife steels. Good edge retention, good resistance to rust and corrosion. Pretty good toughness, just all around good steels. So, pretty easy 10 for blade steel for this guy. Moving on to the clip. This has a nice deep carry clip, and I'm not sure if it's painted. I think it's painted, but yeah, nice deep carry clip, 2 screws there. I got this guy today, and I carried it tonight to a church event that I had. Carried really nicely. Not much sticking out of the pocket. About that much. So yeah, very, very nice to carry. Very deep in the pocket. For such a big knife, it does conceal well. So I gave the clip a score of a 9. The only reason I docked it a point is because I foresee this coating showing marks as I carry it more, bump into things, whatever may happen. But otherwise, it's a great clip. Looking at lock type, this uses I believe it's called the Able lock. It's very similar to an Axis lock. You can see here the little studs are different than what Benchmade uses, but in terms of the way you close the knife, it's the same thing. You pull it back, and then you can close it up, and then opens exactly the same way. So if you've ever handled a Benchmade Axis lock knife, you'll be very familiar with this lock type. Looking at materials, these scales are G10, and then it does have stainless steel liners, which I think they are, I'm not sure if they're milled out at all or not. But I think they're partial liners, which the purpose being to house the Able lock. So yeah, overall nice materials, nothing super fancy, but this knife, at least from my estimation, its purpose has never been to be super fancy. Its purpose has been to be a reliable cutting tool with good materials that will last. And that's exactly what this knife delivers. So yeah, in terms of materials, I gave this a 7. I think it's a fair score. G10, steel liners, steel lock, steel screws that are coated. So yeah, overall pretty nice. Looking at the size, this guy's actually pretty big. I have the Buck 110s in my case right now, so I'll just have the Mannix. But you can see here it's longer than the Mannix by maybe 1/8 of an inch. And then in terms of thickness, it's a pretty thick knife too. So you can see the scales there. They kind of have a, like an arc to them, arch. They're kind of rounded, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But you can see here, it's significantly thicker than the Mannix. And yeah, these are rounded, but you know, it provides for a good grip, but it definitely makes the knife thicker overall. So pretty sizable knife, pretty hefty weight. I'm not sure what the weight would be on this. I would guess around the 4 to 5 ounce mark. So nothing super big, not like a Medford or a, you know, I don't know, a Skike or something like that, but still pretty sizable. Looking at the action, this is very similar to a lot of Benchmades I've handled. Nice action, not quite to the level of falling shut, I guess. I'm not sure how to say that, but it doesn't quite fall shut yet. I'm sure it'll break in nicely, and I'm sure it will eventually, but yeah, it's a nice action out of the box. So I gave it a score of an 8 for action. It is smooth and easy to actuate, so I look forward to seeing how this one breaks in. It's actually kind of funny how similar this thing does feel to a Benchmade, to, you know, one of my 940s or, you know, Griptilians I've handled in the past. It feels really similar to those, so I'm sure they use those as benchmarks for this knife. Looking at the hardware, I don't have my screwdrivers handy, but I'm thinking this is like it's either a T9 or a T10. I was trying to adjust that earlier today. And then these are like, I'm not sure if these are just like hex screws, but they're pretty sizable. I mean, they're pretty large, you can see there, so they'd be pretty difficult to strip out. I'm thinking, or they might be like a T8 Torx head. I'm not for sure on that, but you know, overall the hardware on this is really nice. It's going to be easy enough to maintain if you've taken an Axis lock knife apart before. So I gave it a score of a 10. I think it's really fair. It's nice to see some larger hardware used on a knife, and like I said, I'm thinking that's either, yeah, it's probably like a T8 actually. It just has a little bit different appearance than a Torx screw. Let me pull it over to the side here for a minute. Yeah, probably like a T8. So anyway, yeah, hardware is nice. He's, you know, pretty high ease of maintenance. So looking at the price on this, this was around $186, I believe. And I think for the non-sprint run version, it's around $165, which in my opinion is an absolute steal. Do I think it's, you know, the orange G10 and the coated blade justify a $20 price hike? Yeah, I'm a little on the fence about that. So I gave it a score of a 9, but if you were to buy this in the original configuration at like $165, you know, absolutely, I'd give it a score of a 10 for price. I think that's a screaming deal. You're getting 20 CV. You're getting a very ergonomic design. You're getting a knife that's made in the USA by a well-known brand that's known for its strong warranty and customer service, you know, just all those things. So yeah, I think even at 186 or whatever it was with tax, maybe there wasn't tax on this, but whatever it was, 186, it's still a really good deal. So I gave it a score of a 9 for price. And then finally, quality. The fit and finish on this is very nice. The scales are machined well. You can see there, it's kind of like a starburst pattern. Fitment's really nice. The centering is a little bit off. You can see it favors the left side just a tad. I tried to adjust that out, but didn't have any luck. Sometimes these Axis lock or Able lock knives, whatever you want to call them, sometimes they're just a little bit finicky in terms of centering. I understand that, and it's not off that much. The edge is extremely sharp. Oops, sorry about that. It's also really nice and even, so you can see there, and on that side as well. Just a really nicely done edge, and like I said, very sharp. So overall, the quality on this is you know, among the best that I've ever seen. So I gave it a score of a 10. And then finally, competition. This knife, you know, this Manix would probably be competition. The price points are about the same. I think the Manix is a little bit cheaper, maybe 20 or 30 bucks. But, you know, the Doug Ritter Hogue has better steel, has a coated blade, has a, this is a wire clip. That's pretty good. But, you know, Benchmade makes some knives that are in this realm, like the Griptilian. The 940 is getting a little bit up there, and it's also smaller than this knife. So, you know, there are some considerations if you're looking at this knife, but you know, in terms of the price, especially for the original model, this one's hard to beat. I mean, it's, you know, you get a really nice knife from a well-known designer, from a well-known manufacturer, and yeah, I would highly recommend checking this one out. So anyway, yeah, thanks a lot, guys, for watching. And the total score for this guy is a 65. I apologize that I forget to mention that sometimes. And I think in the past couple, I forgot to talk about competition, but you know, that's okay. The last couple were, maybe I did, but either way, yeah, total is 63. So it's definitely up there with the top knives that I've reviewed. And yeah, anyway, if you guys have any questions, you know, leave them in the comments. Please subscribe and like if you haven't, and we'll look forward to talking to you guys in the next one. Have a good one. See you guys.